Hello and welcome back. This is going to cover kind of the Coastal Crown Loop. I know it's going to be featured this week on these community races. I guess the new October Zwift monthly race series. So I'm not getting much of a warm up. Basically, I don't know, a minute and a half, 2 minutes before this, I jumped on the bike. When I signed up, no one was here, so I wasn't expecting to have a few very talented riders. Caleb Carl, he is a A-plus rider, extremely talented. He's also had some injuries, so kudos to him. He's had a hip replacement, several other injuries can come from a crash, and he's still crushing it. So basically we're rolling out, and my kind of goal now is just to surf some wheels and warm up. So this course, if you're racing it in these community races or at any point, but there's a few spots, obviously the climb is the big one, but there's a few spots leading up to this. Here in about another kilometer, right before 2 kilometers, there's a little ramp that it doesn't matter your category, doesn't matter where you are in that category. These are the spots that you could potentially drop someone or put someone in put a gap in, or if you are, say you're at the bottom end of the category like I am, right, this spot right here is okay. See, Caleb goes off, I want to chase his wheel, like that spot's coming. So no matter what category you're in, what group, I should say, I need to quit talking about categories, but what group you're in, whether you're in the 0 to 300, or like I am in the 690 to 1000, that spot at 2K is going to be one that you, in a small group like this, yeah, you might be able to shed a few people not paying attention. In a larger group, it may not matter. I'm going to say a larger group is like 20 or more, because they'll string out and the draft may bring them back. But it's still a spot to where you're going to have to pay attention, whether you want to inflict some pain on some people, or maybe you're at the bottom of the category, lower end, or just in general not paying attention. That's a place where you could get separated on this course. And then coming up to this next sprint, right here across this bridge, there's a little ramp. And a lot of people will put some effort in through here. You can see Alan didn't do a whole lot, but he did ramp it up just a touch. And that's just about 3K. So this course is essentially, you got a long lead in. It's about 8-kilometer lead in, because you start at the first banner on the new, was it the Mayan? I call it the Mayan shortcut. I don't know the official name of this, but this is the road that cuts from the jungle area up to the grade. So this climb, I know I'm outgunned because Caleb is an A-plus rider, and I don't know these other guys. Now that I'm in the top group, I gotta kind of learn, because a lot of times when you show up, when you're in B-Cat or A-Cat, you know kind of who you were racing with just by some of the names, because you've seen them around. So, but I know Caleb, super strong, and my goal is just to kind of hang in here. I don't have the ability he does, so I got to stay within myself. And there's 4 people racing in this group, so this is relatively chill. Because this was a lot harder than I thought it was going to be, because I was just going to do this as a warm-up for the FRR race after this. So I wasn't expecting this much effort in my warm-up, but it doesn't matter. Just trying to improve at this point. Keep working on my VO2. So this whole climb it's similar to the Volcano. You can draft the whole way up primarily. The draft is in play. You got this downhill just after the finish, or I shouldn't say that. Well, it is the finish. The KOM banner. Once you get through, you got a couple spots where you do get 3-4 seconds of a break. And it's only like the last kilometer or so, maybe a little less than a kilometer, that you are actually, you know, kind of isolated from the draft. So as you got a Caleb and Jay Hall, I'm not able to do that. And then I can do it, but I can't recover and continue the race. So I just sit here with, and now my race is against Alan. So we go up this steep part right here. I drop a feather, and I just want to see what he's going to do. So I do a little bit of effort because I know this flatter area is coming across this bridge. So I get the gap, and now this, it doesn't matter where you are in the groups. Say if you have a gap like this, and you want to keep them behind you from basically here to the finish, all you gotta do is watch the screen and do more work than they are. This right here is also a key part of racing. Doesn't matter what race it is. You get to the banner and it kind of flattens out. Keep your watts up. You gotta push over the top. And this takes a little bit to get over the hill. So I pushed. Now it's starting to drop off. I do just take a little break here, but as soon as it eases off the gradient, once we get to like the -2, -1, I'm back on the hammer to the grade itself. Because setting this up, you know, I've already gained a few seconds. What was it, 3 or 4 seconds over the top? And then now I'm going over the grade at a faster speed. And by the time I'm at the bottom, I think I gained 6 seconds. Now that could, I don't know, it could be Super Tuck's a little broke. Could be I'm a little heavier. I am not sure at this moment. But that's essentially it. At that point, everyone, like, all the hill's over, I'm going to take a break. You push through it. Once you get back up to speed, that can drop the few people that might be hanging on by the thread or open up a gap. So for the rest of this ride, I'm just kind of riding at my threshold, but watching Alan to see what he's doing, and he's kind of doing the same thing, right around the same watts. And all I got to do is keep my watts, or my watts per kilogram, higher than his, and then that's it. So we're just going back through the beginning of the course. We're coming up to that first where Caleb did an attack right here. So it happens again at 17 kilometers. So it's at 2 kilometers and 17 that you will have the small bump. It's a spot, maybe if you're, you know that you're in a group, 4, 5, 6, 8 riders, they may push the pace up through this sprint section. Or you could be the one wanting to push the pace. It's a short course. It is challenging because of the climb in it. And as the good thing about this is it's shorter. It's a shorter route, but the lead in is what makes it hard because you got to go up the full climb. Basically, depending on your category, it may be anywhere from maybe 9, 10 minutes to maybe 15. I'm not sure. I think my effort last time I looked at it was roughly 10 minutes. And that was pushing a pretty good pace. So maybe stretch to 15 if your power's a little lower. So here you're coming to the final and I got about 27 seconds. So I obviously got to do some work on this climb, but I get a big enough cushion to where I don't have to stress out about it. So overall, it's I'm not too concerned about this, about Alan catching me, but I do have to do work. So it depends on your specific race, but this section right here, I think it was about, 2 kilometers maybe? this is kind of the end, this whole climb up to that banner. And most of this climb is draftable. It's kind of like the Volcano. So as long as you are around someone, you can save a few watts. And then as you turn this bend right here, this is if you got a sprint or you're in a group, this is where you want to start ramping it up. Get about 250 meters to the finish. And then boom. There it is. That was kind of a it was a good race. And it's a good course, it really is. Has a couple of roll-ups to break things up, but mainly you're looking at the full Mayan shortcut climb. And then the first 2 kilometers of that Mayan shortcut to the finish on this one. So it's a pretty quick race, 35 minutes for the top group. So the lower groups may be a little bit longer, but overall, those are kind of like the 4 or 5 points to where it really makes a difference. At the top of this climb going through in the first time, it picks up at the end. That last kilometer is relatively steep. So that's something. Those are something you need to watch through, and then pushing through the banner over the edge, especially if you're in a smaller group, and you got some guys that are kind of just hanging on the back, that can separate you. All right, I appreciate you guys watching, and we'll see you again later.